Hey y'all, my name is Vito Bell. I am a music major going to school in North Carolina. This is the third video in a series of 5 videos talking about the pentatonic modes. This particular video is about Jiao mode. So during this video, we will cover 3 things. We will first get to know the mode better, get to better understand the mode. Next up, we will go over practice techniques for this mode, and what works for me, and what hopefully works for you. And last but not least, we will have an optional short guided practice session where I will kind of run you guys through what I do in my practice for these modes. So, getting right into things, Jiao mode. So, I find that it is easiest to understand these modes when you compare them to diatonic scales and think of them as diatonic scales with notes missing. So, for this example, we will be using the minor diatonic scale, seeing as both the minor diatonic scale and Jiao mode both have minor tonal tendencies. They have may, lay, and te. So let's take a listen to the minor diatonic scale starting on C. And Jiao mode starting on C. All right, so talking about what I mentioned earlier, it's a really great idea to think about pentatonic modes as being diatonic scales with notes missing. This is a really great way to visually represent that. So here we have a minor diatonic scale with rests where re and sol would be. Hope this makes it easier to think about. So let's take a listen to this. Skip, 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 skip. So a really great way to think about this and or practice using this particular little graph is to either hum the missing note to yourself or just think about it really hard, almost kind of hear it without singing it. And you can do that while looking at this or using a keyboard. So one other additional amazing tool that we have for visualizing and understanding the pentatonic modes is the black keys of the piano. So if you start on A sharp, the black key on the piano, and you play all of the black keys going up an octave, you will have played Jiao mode. Let me demonstrate here. So while I play this example, if you take a look at the keyboard, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a really, really amazing way to think about and find this mode on the piano, whether you're practicing or just thinking about it. A great way to think about these modes is thinking about, which mode is the F sharp mode? Which mode is the G sharp mode? And which mode is the A sharp mode? This mode is the A sharp mode. Let's write that in here. A sharp. This is how I will remember it. How I suggest y'all remember it as well. So I would say that concludes the first part of this video. So if y'all would like to take a screenshot of this sheet, this is kind of what I use. This is where my mind is at when I'm practicing these, and here is the paper if you would like to screenshot this and use this for your own practice. All right, so going on to practice techniques. So what I like to do when I practice this mode and all the other modes, and really just anything for oral skills, is I kind of start with the piano, then I start singing with the piano, and then I eventually start singing without the piano. The eventual goal is to have the piano taken away as quickly as possible. If you think about the piano as being training wheels for your bike of learning, it's really a great idea to get rid of the training wheels as quickly as possible. Um, Another great way to practice this is just to think about it throughout the day. Always just maybe run through them in your mind. If you have a free moment or two in between classes, you can think, which mode is the F sharp black key mode? Which mode has re and sol missing in it? You can do things like that at any point in time during the day. And if you hear that a song is using the pentatonic scale, you can try and figure out which one it's using, which mode it's using. All these are really fun ways to keep your mind occupied and learn these as quickly as possible. Another great way to do this is think about them right before you go to sleep and when you wake up. That's what I like to do. So, um, representing the way I practice this, let's move on to the third portion of this video, which is the optional short guided practice session. So, the way I like to begin my personal practice for this is I just like to listen to it a whole lot. So I really, really try and get myself into the feel of this mode and understand what makes it different from the other one, where the skips are. In this case, there's a re and sol are missing. So let's just listen to this a couple times. So try and hear the skip in between do and me and fa and lay. Let's do that again. Really quick, just for a good measure. All right. So moving on, I like to start gradually singing along with the piano. So you can either pause the video here and listen to the mode more, or you can continue on with me, which is where I like to just sing it while playing it with the piano. And I mean, you could even pause the video and just start doing this on your own without watching me do it. But I'll go ahead and do it with y'all for the sake of doing it. Do. I'm going to have to go down the octave. Do, me, fa, so, te, so, fa, me, do. And like we did earlier, another great way to do it is singing and just thinking about the rest. So, do, me, fa, re, te, do. You can kind of hear me hum that there. This time I'll just think about it really hard. Do, me, fa, re, te, do, te, le, fa, me, do. I find that conceptualizing it and understanding it like this is just a really, really great way for me to learn this scale in particular. And I'm using the black key approach for this example, the singing with the keyboard, just because this is the easiest way to just find it immediately on the keyboard, and it really helps speed up your practicing if you use the black key approach while practicing. So let's sing it again. Do, do, me, fa, so, te, so, fa, me, do. All right, so moving on to the last thing that I do during practicing is taking away the training wheels. So let's only press the keyboard, or in my case, MuseScore, for do and so. Do, me, fa, so, te, so, fa, me, do. That's a really great way for me to practice it. Another great thing that you can do is to sing it and not play at the same time. You can kind of play a beat behind yourself to kind of check the pitches. So I'll give you an example. Do, me, fa, so, te, so, fa, me, do. Oh, skipped one there. But that is a really great way that I like to practice it because it feels like I'm not completely out in the dark yet and I'm kind of checking myself while I'm running through the scale. I feel like that's a really great way, great with an R, to practice any of these modes and in this one. So before we end the video, I'd like to run through a couple different notes, things to keep in your mind about this or really about just anything. So overall, this video really isn't, the only thing that I do, and I wouldn't recommend that for any of y'all to choose one thing to do and just stick to it. This is made to kind of open your eyes to new ways of practicing. I'm sure this isn't exactly new, but it's just this is supposed to be something that you use. It's a tool. This is supposed to eventually lead to a deeper understanding of the modes and um, how they connect to each other, how they're related to the key, how they're related to just everything. This is used as a tool to create understanding. It's not supposed to be the understanding for this topic. So I try and use this initially when I learn, and then I kind of phase this out. I almost treat this as a training wheel on a training wheel. So another thing to think about is you can do this anytime, like I mentioned earlier, anytime you're around a piano or a tuner or just thinking about it. Try, even if you just pick one for the whole day to think about, like, today I'm gonna focus on just learning Jao mode. Every time I get like a spare moment, I'm gonna think about where's the skip, what black key is this on the piano? And if you just think about that for a day, I mean, at the end of the day, you'll have it learned. That's another thing I like to do. And overall, just try and get away from the piano as quickly as possible. It's just like taking those training wheels off. It's a really good idea to get away from that quickly. And if you can't, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. Everyone learns at their own rate. Me especially, definitely learning at my own rate. So thank y'all for bearing with me. I believe this is the end of the video. Good luck in learning. And if you choose to continue watching the rest of the videos in this series, I will see you then. Thanks so much. Have a great day.